Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here. It is April 16th, 2025, and it's about 12 minutes after 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Little Palo Santo and a prayer. Blessing, 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 blessing. All right, collective. Let's tap right in and see what storyline Spirit would like to share with us this afternoon, evening. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy, please block any and all negative interference during this read. Please help me to channel it accurately according to your will. What would you like the collective to know, please, Spirit? Collective energy, please, Spirit. What storyline would you like to share with the collective, please? All right. In the central energy, we've got a 5 of Cups here. Somebody's in sorrow. They're suffering a heartbreak. Some kind of a divorce or separation. In the challenge position. Judgment. There's a reckoning. In the subconscious. In the subconscious, King of Wands in the reverse. So, ruthless, unpredictable, unachievable expectations. In the recent past, please, Spirit. We've got the Chariot. Forward momentum. You may have won a victory over this. You're determined. You have overcome the trials. We've got the Strength in the reverse. So your victory is causing somebody a weakness. They could be struggling with their pride. In the near future. Three of Swords, heartbreak, a divorce, just like with the 5 of Cups there. So there's a divorce, there's a suffering, they're getting cut off. The lens that's being looked through, the Lovers. So there is the strength of 2 together. A beautiful, passionate connection that is in alignment with the value system. Deep love, deep, deep love. In the environment, Spirit, we've got the 10 of Swords here. So the strength of two together is causing a painful ending for somebody, a collapse, a failure. They got a divorce here. They're under judgment. They've been being ruthless. You've gained a victory over them being ruthless, which is causing them some insecurity and weakness. They're gotten cut off from you. Painful ending because you're with somebody here in a victory. Hopes and fears, please, Spirit. 5 of Swords in the reverse. Now they want to reconcile. It's like, oh, I failed to destroy you. Now can we make amends? And it's like, oh, hell no. You got to get on out of here. We're done. We're going to cut our losses and get on out of Dodge. What's the outcome, please, Spirit? Knight of Cups in the upright. So there's a painful ending here, a collapse. There's a desire to reconcile, and we do have a Knight of Cups here in there. So somebody may be trying to get romantic. It could be this with the Star and the Truth. New beginning. So, you know, this could be a spiritual connection or something in the astral realms, and it could be about time for this person to show up in your life. You're the Star, you know the truth about this. This is a new beginning. And somebody's having a lot of negative thoughts regarding your 9 of Pentacles here. Somebody may be bound from getting involved or restricted from the fruits of your labor. Yeah, so there's this person or people, they are being restricted from participating in or enjoying the fruits of your labor. They're getting cut out and divorced out of your energy and out of what you got going on here. We've got a King of Pentacles here who is an abundant leader, and he's shining a light on stuff, shining a light on souls, perhaps searching his soul, making plans for the future. Mastery, 8 of Pentacles, an apprenticeship, all is well, a rebirth. So there could be work that is being rebirthed, high standard work, which is being rebirthed and revitalized, it looks like. Somebody has lost everything, and they're in a 5 of Pentacles because the Earth Angelic is restoring balance, moving forward. Oh, love with the King of Cups here. Alrighty then. Well, there's that. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. All right, so we've got 5 of Cups energy. Somebody's suffering a heartbreak. There's a divorce. They're getting cut out of your energy. There's a divorce. And this could be, you know, I mean, you may not even know these people. They may have been benefiting off of your star qualities without you even being aware. We've got forgiveness. So they're in sorrow, wanting forgiveness. They're feeling overwhelmed and stressed out, or maybe they're overwhelmed and stressed out. I don't know. They're struggling to get over the past. So they want forgiveness. They're feeling overwhelmed. The judgment is here. This is a new phase. They're overwhelmed by judgment. They're hoping for forgiveness. They didn't appreciate any of the beauty that you brought to their life. They didn't care about you. They're under judgment here. They didn't care. They're very ruthless. They didn't care one bit about you. They had unachievable expectations. They were very, very ruthless. They didn't appreciate your beauty. They've got habitual patterns. They could have substance abuse issues. But you've gained a victory over that. You've moved on. In the recent past, we've got values. So you've gained a victory over those people whose values are about money. It could be that you're moving on, or that they're moving on. Take it as it resonates. We'll get some more clarification. They're not feeling very strong right now. You've taken the breath out of them. You've taken their breath away. Neglect in the reverse. They failed to give you what you needed. Their values were all about money, but you've gained, your determination has gained you a victory over that. They are feeling very weak. They're not being neglected. They're in their raw emotion. They failed to give you what you needed, and now you're no longer being neglected, and they're feeling very weak about it. Yeah, you got help here, and they're not neglecting you at all. This person or people are getting cut out of your energy. They're getting cut out of your gifts, out of your, because they're disloyal. They betrayed you. They betrayed you. They're in regret. They wish it had never happened, but they betrayed you. They didn't care. And the fact of it is that it's not being neglected. They're going to get everything that they gave you. All of this neglect and all of that is coming to them. There's no neglect. They're going to get exactly what they deserve. And it won't be neglected. They're feeling very weak about it. The lovers are here, the strength of two together. This is a beautiful union. Love. Oh, yeah. Love. Passionate love. When you look into the eyes of a soul, of your soulmate. So these ones have been defeated. They're in a Ten of Swords energy. They're in a painful ending. Everything's collapsing. They've been defeated here. They're feeling broken and shattered by it. This defeat. Chaser. So they're feeling shattered by it. They have a desire to forgive. They want to make amends. They weren't able to tap into your destiny. They couldn't steal your destiny. And so now they want to make friends so that they can be connected to you. We do have a Knight of Cups here. Well, this kind of came out in the reverse. I don't know. I'm gonna get a couple more cards because that came out sloppily. Please, Spirit, let it come out. Maybe I can. Unworthy. All right. So yeah, they're gonna move forward. They have a desire to reconcile. They're gonna move forward and try to get into your space, but they're unworthy of reconciliation. You're a better person than they are. And you're here reunited with somebody else. This could be in the spirit, but there's somebody here trying to horn in. They're having a painful ending. And look, shadows. They play in the shadows, and they're running. They're trying to run away from the shadows. They sabotage themselves, and they want to come in. They were trying to pretend to be you in order to snatch onto your soul tie, and that's the truth. Look, they missed their opportunity to fix a connection with you because you're in a new soul contract. You're in a new soul contract, but you've got a knight in shining armor here wanting to come forward to make a proposal that they're unworthy of. So be aware of that. This is an unexpected outcome. The way you love can never be matched, and you are here responsible for families. The lovers are here reunited, and these ones are feeling your absence in this new chapter. Yeah. So everybody's talking about them being liars and how they made a lot of mistakes and how you never gave up hope for your union here. They were not satisfied by you, and they decided to cause you a lot of damage, and now they're suffering from that because they're being detached and held back. You understand exactly what they were doing, and they're guilty here, feeling the pain from what they did in their passion project. But you got a knight in shining armor here. They're unworthy of you. They're still trying to come in and tap that deceitfully, nastily. You just can't. You just can't. They're desperate. They're desperate to have you save them from themselves. They're in sorrow, seeking forgiveness, feeling overwhelmed and stressed. Just another notch on the freaking headboard. They want forgiveness for treating you like trash, like a disposable, discardable pleasure toy or something. They're under judgment because they did not appreciate your beauty. They didn't care one bit about it. Not one freaking bit. And you're leaving. They're challenged by it. You're leaving. You've taken it as far as you can go and you're leaving. This person is a ruthless, callous, cold, freaking jackwagon. And they're habitual. This is their habitual pattern. They will never change. They will never change. Oh yeah, they're in regret and stressed out, but they're never, ever, ever going to change. They will always be ruthless. They will always have unachievable expectations, and they will always expect somebody else to make it happen for them. Drowning. You're not going under. Maybe they don't want to drown. They were using people to keep themselves from drowning in their own misery. But you gained a victory over that and you're leaving there. Look, their values were all about money and their secrets. They were never telling the truth. So you've gained a victory and you're leaving that behind. They're in strength reversed. Raw emotion, feeling very weak. Everything that they did is coming back to them. Blind spot. They got caught up in a whirlwind. All that neglect is coming back to them. You don't have to carry it anymore. There's the Three of Swords, a divorce, and they're in regret, wishing it had never happened. But they don't wish it had never happened. They're still ruthless and callous, and they don't give a crap about how they use their wand trying to extract goodness out of people. Crushed. They wish it had never happened. They're crushed. They're hurting emotionally. You know, I mean, they got a lot of freaking notches in that headboard of pain that they caused. So we've got the lovers are here, the strength of two together. You're in alignment here. Reunion. We'll always come back to each other. This is pieces. It's like you were always picking up the pieces when things fell apart for others here. And now it's time to get the complete package. You are reunited, you are strong together, and you've got the complete package here. This is causing a painful ending for these ones who are broken and shattered about this situation. They betrayed you and everything, and they're defeated. Look, they're defeated. Ten of Swords defeat, broken and shattered. They lost. They lost. Five of Swords in the reverse. They desire to make amends. They are having revenge, remorse. But that's only if you give them another chance, boy, they'll be right back at it because they're ruthless and callous. They're having revenge, remorse. They're in remorse. They're in regret. They were not able to steal your destiny. And they're not a part of your destiny. They're flighty. They're having anxiety. They don't know what's going on. Somebody wants to come in as a Knight of Cups with a proposal, but they're unworthy. You're a better person than they are. And you've got fierceness here. It's like they're unworthy and you're being aggressive with them. It's like, get out of my energy. Stop trying to force your way into my energy. F word. Stay out. Yeah, you're getting, because they're the dark side empty vessel. They have nothing to offer. They may not even have a soul. They're reaching out here, trying to connect with you so that they can get their needs met. That's all they want. But we've got burned here. So I don't know what this burned card is, except that they've hurt you before and you don't trust them. So, you know, they got a long way to go before they get what they want, and they're grieving here because everything that you no longer need is falling away to make room for the love that you deserve, and it's here. It's right here. You've got the complete package here, and it's coming together. Look at these ones are struggling, or maybe they caused a struggle for many flames, many star beings. They broke all their promises. Probably put them in a rabbit hole for a whole life cycle of crazy drama. And they did that. They did that. They got to face it. This is the truth. They made things very hard for people through neglect. Playing games with love and tangling people up with their games. Now they're looking for an exit plan and they're feeling like they're all alone. And their whole world is crumbling and this is ending. And you're going far away from them. They want to escape the snake. But they weren't willing to settle down and be responsible. They're a chaff. They're a weed seed. And they want forgiveness. They're tired. And they're childish. They don't have access to your energy anymore. And so now they want to plead and tell you how much you mean to them when they were trying to destroy you and steal your destiny. And your strength, and your beauty, and everything that you had to offer. And you're being very fierce with this. It's like you're unworthy. You better stay out. You're reunited here with your sweetheart. And anybody coming into your energy is going to be met with a whole crap load of aggressiveness. They should stop. They should stop, because this isn't going to end well. They're in a Ten of Swords energy. And they're trying to come in and use their freaking love cup, which they don't even possess. They've got this ruthless wand here that they're trying to masquerade as a love cup, but they're unworthy. Freaking insane. You're meeting them with a fierceness to protect your. It's just you're tired. You're tired of liars coming forth falsely presenting themselves as some freaking love buddy when they're just ruthless and callous thieves and destroyers. So they're in sorrow. They want forgiveness. They're feeling stressed out and overwhelmed. They got just another notch in the headboard. Actions speak the loudest. Everybody can see what it is they've done to many flames. But you still have inner peace. You're calm. They tried to destroy you, but you meditated. You kept yourself together. They're under judgment there. They did not appreciate the beauty of you, and you're leaving. You've taken it as far as you can. You're out of here. It's like, there's nothing more. You cannot do anything for this energy. It can't transmute its own darkness. It doesn't want to. It demands that other people pay the price for their bad behavior while they benefit. Robbery. They're challenged because they did not appreciate your beauty. They did not care about you. You're leaving because they tried to rob you, because they were being so unfair. And you're like, look, I'm taking my peace. I'm taking my inner peace and all my beauty, and I'm leaving. This person is a ruthless King of Wands in the reverse. They have habitual patterns of doing this kind of thing to keep themselves from going under. They cause other people to ruthlessly go under so that they can save their own ass. It's done. Done. imagination. They're stuck in a fantasy. You've got your Chariot here. You've gained a victory over this person whose values are all about money. They don't want to hear the truth. They don't speak the truth. They're full of secrets. They like things. Their values are about money. They like fancy cars. They like money. They like the status that people believe them to have and to be with it. We've got strength in the reverse. They're struggling with their pride, and there's no neglect here. Like they failed to give you everything you needed, and now they can't. They can't neglect you. They're not being neglected. They have to, what do they call that? They have to pay it back. They have to pay it back. They got caught up in a whirlwind. They can't neglect you now. They have to pay it back. Everything. Look, curse. They got caught up in a whirlwind, and this is a blind spot. They're in a curse. They're suffering a catastrophe. This is a huge misfortune. They can't neglect you. They got to give everything back. They're in a divorce. They're being cut out of your energy. They're in regret. They wish it had never happened. They're feeling crushed. They're hurting emotionally. They're in a nightmare. This is a nightmare for them. Oh, all the nightmares that they caused for you and many others to keep their own selves afloat, they're now suffering. It's like, yeah, well, it's going to get you sometime. It belongs to you. It doesn't belong to all these other light-bearing beings that you gave it to. It belongs to you. So the lovers are here, strength of two together. You're in reunion, and you've got the complete package here. You were always picking up the pieces, and now you got the complete package. You can rely on each other. You can count on each other. You know that you've got each other's back. And that's just the way it's going to be. That's a fact, Jack. Origin in the reverse. This says imitation in the reverse. So you've got the complete package. There's nobody that can imitate you. No, you are the original. No one can imitate you. You have the complete package, and that's causing these ones a nightmare, a 10 of Swords defeat, a collapse. They're feeling broken and shattered about this. They've lost. They have lost. They got lost. They've lost because you stayed relaxed, because you have your inner peace. You stayed calm. You stayed calm. You did not drop into South Node. You rose up into North Node, regardless of the brutality and the theft and the lack of appreciation and the neglect, the curses. You stayed at peace and you rose up into the North Node. Look, so now they're having revenge remorse. They were not able to steal your destiny. They're having anxiety. And nobody's helping them. It's like the hand of God isn't reaching out to these people or this person. They're like, no. They're coming forward. They want to try to get into your space with some kind of a Knight of Cups offer, but they're unworthy. And you've got the Lion here, fierce, being aggressive. They're in a nightmare. They're going to have a big old, it's going to get worse if they continue in this passion project, trying to use people to save themselves from drowning. Look, ready. Ready. You are fierce and you are ready. You've got your halo on. You've got your sun power, your solar plexus power. You have lived and you have learned. You know what's going on here. And justice is being delivered here. It's fated. These ones are trying to delay the work that you are here to do, and that's just not acceptable. Why? Because you care about families. You genuinely care about families, and these ones were trying to stop you. They were trying to stop the union here. the beautiful, loving union and the child or the family that will come forth from it. They're frightened, they're in danger, and there's death. Yeah. Third wheel enemies for coming after a sweetheart with a destiny, a fated destiny. They fell into a trap. They are blind, and they fell into a trap of their own magic. It was a blind spot. It was a blind spot. It's like if you persevered through all this, do this. No, don't do that. Do this. Oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? If you persevered through all the mind effery and the life effery, if you made it to the top of that mountain, all the magic was going to come back on them. And now those who were tempted to move against your promise are sick, because there's evidence of them dominating you, reading your mind, trying to get you off the board, driving you. Man, look. Trying to destroy your vow, your union here. Prideful, natural disasters, bound to their commitments. They messed up, man. They messed up. Them and the whole team that they collaborated with. You know? They were trying to bring mental disturbances to eternal love. Or maybe they're suffering mental disturbances now from moving against eternal love. And they're going to be experiencing losses for bullying this sweetheart, somebody who actually loves themselves. They tried to destroy this person. They tried to destroy this person. They did not appreciate the beauty. It's sad and disgusting is what it is. The gift that brought gain. The gift that could make everything okay. And now they're going through withdrawals and they want to apologize. And their confinement, it's like they're getting cast away. It's like, go away. Just go freaking away. You know why? Because you deserve sweet dreams, and you deserve for this to be done. Over. Look, you got a new job. You're going to be able to save money because you are a good moral human who has earned a lot of merit by maintaining your own sense of self, your inner peace. You managed yourself very well. You stayed relaxed. You stayed focused on this. Your hope for this loving union never left your mind. Oh, they're furious. They're furious because the family, your family, you're gonna have a family, and you've got family. You got this whole beautiful family. You got this whole beautiful family, reunited blessings. Yes, they're stressed out because they're 86. They are cast out because you are okay, you are stable, and you're coming into your reward. And they're gonna get sickness and loneliness. They want to compromise, and it's like, go away. You know what? You're gonna have to talk to my alliances because they're not happy. It's like you're the new coach. It's like they call you the adversary, which really tried to stop you in a big way. They're calling you an edifier. So it's like you're the new coach. You're going to be teaching people how to, be friends, how to be true friends, how to be in their marriage, how to have a sweet love. How to have a sweet love. You're going to be the example, the living example. You're going to be the living example. And that's what leaders do, is they lead by example. And these ones, these ones who have been playing in this stuff, they did not give anybody a very good example. They did not give everybody a really good example. Thief. A thief. This is a thief. He had sex with people who had self-love, inner peace, their life was stable and secure. They came in, not just another notch in the headboard to rob them of their mental stability. House. You have peace in your house. You have peace in your house. It's simplicity. It's very simple. You know, you don't overcomplicate things, especially when you're in survival mode. It's like really, it's moment by moment, hour by hour, day by day. And you don't have time to worry about the future or to worry about the past. You need to, because usually, you know, people are like 30% in the past, 30% in the future, and then like 40% in the present moment. And then when this stressful stuff happens, when this nightmare happens, it's like they can't handle it. You gotta pull in the 30% from the future, you gotta pull in the 30% from the past, and you gotta be here now in the present moment to manage the nightmare. You just, otherwise you will never ever manage it. You got to learn. Unfortunately, most of us learn the hard way. And most of us were blind to it, or we just didn't know that this was happening, you know, because most of us truly believe and hope for sincere love. Not just some ruthless schwangster out here bebopping people for money and profit. Innocent people. So they're under judgment. They did not appreciate you. They didn't care about you at all, and you're leaving. You've taken it as far as you can. You're walking away is the best thing you can do. They tried to rob you. They treated you very unfairly, and this is a surprise. There could be a surprise coming up out of the water. They tried to rob you of water. There's something in the water. There's a surprise here. A ruthless king of wands in the reverse has habitual patterns that they'll never change. They've been using people as a notch in the headboard to keep themselves from drowning in some fantasy, like to keep their own mind straight. We've got messenger in the reverse. They may not have gotten the message. They may have ignored the message. You've got a victory here with your chariot. You're determined and you're moving forward away from these people whose values were all about money, who weren't telling the truth about you. They just wanted stuff. They wanted fancy cars. They wanted a wallet full of money. And now they got strength in the reverse because all the neglect that they gave to you is coming back on them. They cursed themselves because you stayed tranquil. You managed your inner harmony, your garden. So they got caught up in a whirlwind. It was a blind spot. They did not see this coming. It's like, oh, because if they couldn't put you in South Node, if they couldn't make you fearful or militant, then they would lose. And they oh, shoot, death. So strength in the reverse, every ounce of neglect that they gave to you, it's coming back. All the brutalization, they got caught up in this whirlwind, this curse. They're caught up in a whirlwind. It's a curse. They cursed themselves with death, trying to curse you with death. And there were many flames too, so this is bad. They got cut off with the Three of Swords here. They're divorced. They're getting cut right out of your energy. They're confused. They're in regret. They wish it had never happened. They're feeling crushed, hurting emotionally. They're in a nightmare. They're suffering. They're in a nightmare. This is a foe. Your foe is in a nightmare because they got cut off from you. They got cut out of your gifts. They got cut out of everything. The lovers are here together, the strength of two together, reunited. They have the complete package. Nobody else can copy you. You are the original. Nobody else can copy you. Okay, keep throwing them on the floor now. And we got journey. Nobody else can copy you, and you're going on a journey. You're about ready to get out of here. This is a Ten of Swords ending for these people. They're defeated, broken and shattered by this because they've lost. Why? Because you are relaxed, because you're not going into South Node. You're not crazy. You don't want to fight. You don't want to destroy the world. You're not seeking vengeance. You would just as soon forget about this and move on into some love. You want your passionate love with your beauty. The beauty of love here. You got the complete package and nobody can do it better. That's for sure. And we got faithfulness here. Faithfulness. Oh, wedding. A faithful union. A faithful union. Something you may not have ever experienced before is here. Oh, that's wonderful. And you're about ready to go on a journey. Look, you're even friends. Not only are you lovers, but you are friends, faithful friends. Oh, everybody's talking about this enemy being in despair, man. Everybody's talking about it. They're all up in their thoughts. They're in despair. Oh, crap. Why? Because you were innocent. You were freaking innocent. And you were love and joy. And they tried to destroy you. What a bunch of jackwagons. They betrayed you. They're in a Ten of Swords collapse, a defeat. They're feeling broken and shattered. They've lost because you are relaxed. And we've got scholar. So now you're a scholar. Now you know you've learned all kinds of things to pull yourself through this. And now you get to go teach the people. Not as a, holier than thou kind of a person, but just sharing your experiences. What brought you through? Because you know what? They had you in this energy, and you were able to rise up out of that into this energy. And that's why they're feeling broken and shattered. Yep. So now they want to make amends. They weren't able to steal your destiny. They're full of anxiety. The hand of God isn't coming down to help them because you're an innocent child. They came after one of God's children. They came after one of God's own. And you were innocent. And now they're coming in as a knight of cups, a knight in shining armor. They want to come in with a proposal, but they're unworthy. And you've got a fierce, aggressive lion here. Ready. Better be ready. Better be ready for the fierceness of that lion, because that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get. Okay, don't drop it. They're not taking the fortune. They're not taking your vital force. They're not taking the vital force of one of God's own children. The chosen. If that's what you want to, if that's what you relate with. I'm talking about the star. The star who speaks truth and revitalizes and rejuvenates. You bring life, you transmute death energy, and these ones were trying to stick you in the shadow. They're not taking your fortune. They're going to get eaten alive is what they're going to get. They should really not go there. We got waiting. Look, they're waiting for money, They're sighing. This priest, they're sighing, they're sad because this sweetheart is cheerful in her mind. She's in good spirits. The room is the mind. So she's in good spirits. Look, frivolity. She's having fun. Everybody's talking about this old woman. A young woman may receive a letter, maybe writing a letter. Oh, or this could be, well, if you want to look at it this way, it could be that everybody's talking that this older woman is going to what? Be made into a younger woman. It's like age regression kind of a thing. This gift who never gave up hope for this reunion. Yeah, it's a new beginning. It's a new beginning. Hot tea. Hot tea. Beautiful. Now, this is haughtiness, like, you know, arrogance or whatever. It could be a haughty, false lover, soldier. Okay, so you've got arrogant. This is King of Wands reversed energy. So a haughty lover, just another notch in the headboard. A liar is going to be suffering misfortune here because they're a soldier and they're going to be going to prison. Look, they're praying to God. They're like, oh, you know, I need consolation. Help me out of this one. But the hand of God is not reaching out for this person. It's like, no, because you came after an actual child of the Most High. Pleasure seeking, thieving. They're in trouble. They're in trouble. They were offering a service to make people sick. Maybe that was their service, trying to get people to be sick. They're in sorrow and melancholy over this wife. This wife. Reunited. Yeah, joyful, in love. Yay, celebration, in love. And that servant is depressed. Oh, they're in despair. They're sick. Widower. They may have lost a wife or a husband. To the Lord is the new merchant. The Lord is the new merchant, or somebody may have lost their wife or husband to the merchant. The Lord may have sold them off because they were constantly attacking the mental body. This enemy was constantly attacking the mental body, or maybe the enemy is in their thoughts about what they've constantly done to this sweetheart. Oh, they're gonna pay. They're gonna pay. Apparently, they've been getting away with this type of behavior for centuries. And they got cocky. They got arrogant. They got too confident. And they definitely did not see this coming. They did not see this feminine here staying in this energy. They think very little of the woman. You know, they think that she's just a little, you know, whatever, a pleasure cruise or whatever, you know, and somebody to do their bidding. But she's peace. The true sweetheart is peace. She's not like them. She's not like them, and they don't understand her. Completely opposite. They have no understanding of who these people are, because who these people are, their qualities or their character do not reside in them. They have no way of seeing it or recognizing it or understanding it because it's not in them. And that's why, you know, when you sit down and you think about the people in your life, and then you say, okay, so-and-so, this is a quality, you know, the 5 qualities that I love about this person, and this is why they're in my life, right? So maybe you got 5 people that you know, and you write out 5 different qualities that you appreciate this people. And then you sit there and you start to understand that you've recognized these good qualities in them because they are also in you. You would not see them if they were not in you. You simply wouldn't. And these ones didn't see it. Look, you know that there's no greater goal than to love. and you poured your love into yourself, and you grew your internal garden in your house of flesh, your mind, in your home, wherever it is that you're dwelling, you filled it with love. They may have saw you as just another notch in the headboard, but honey, you're the whole freaking house. You're the whole house. And they did not have any appreciation for you. You're leaving. The robber is surprised. You did not surrender. The robber is surprised. You did not surrender. You're leaving. You know, I mean, women sometimes are in childbirth for like 3 days, man, and you cannot give up, okay? You just don't have a choice. It's naturally built into them to keep going. It's a special gift that they were given by the Most High. They just don't quit. You can't quit during childbirth, and you don't quit during these stressful things. You just, it's a thing with God's children. It's like it's not part of their programming. They came after the wrong one. They didn't recognize. We got patience in the reverse. So, Ruthless, King of Wands in the reverse. Unachievable expectations. They've got habitual patterns of hurting people in a sexual manner. Whether it be, you know, violent or just breaking hearts, messing with their minds, stealing their messages, their source-connected messages, messing with their mind, stopping their messages, disconnecting them from source. We've got patience in the reverse. They didn't want to wait for divine timing. They had no patience, so they decided to hurt others to get what they wanted. You've got a victory over this. You're in your chariot and you're leaving it behind, and you did it with balance, with calm, with relaxation, with balance, with inner harmony. You did not judge yourself harshly, as I'm sure they wanted you to. So you've got a victory over those whose values were all about money. The secret is that they did not tell the truth. They just want stuff. They want money and they want that. But instead, you've got balance. Why? Because you are a high quality individual. They didn't know. They could have lied. They could have been telling people that you were not worthy, that you were not high quality. They could have told people that, man, it was so easy to get you into South Node, to throw you into a militant life cycle. But now they don't have any strength. They're weakened because they cannot neglect you anymore. Every ounce of neglect that they gave you is coming back on them. They got caught up in a whirlwind. They didn't see this coming. They cursed themselves. It's coming back on them, and it's death. They curse themselves with death. They curse themselves with death because they could not make you eat the fear or be in fear, go into a South Node fear cycle. They couldn't put you in that fear mode, so now they curse themselves with death. It's coming back on them, and they're getting cut out of your energy with the Three of Swords here. They're in regret, wish it never happened. They're hurting emotionally. They're feeling crushed. They're in a nightmare. They're suffering in darkness. They're a foe. They're your enemy. And you're a being of love. You're at peace. Look, you know that there's no greater goal than to love. You are calm in your house of flesh, house of wood. You're at peace. You're a being of love. You release all negative energy. You transmute it. You release it. You let it go. You maintain your inner tranquility. You have learned a lot on how to do that while you were getting blamed for nastiness that these ones were putting out there. The lovers are together in a aligned value system. The strength of two together. It's passionate, not only in purpose, but you are compatible energetically. You have the complete package. Nobody else was able to mimic your vital force. You're going on a journey. There is a wedding here, a faithful journey, a faithful wedding with a friend. You are friends. Death. This is over. This is over. Nobody can mimic you. You're going on a journey. It's a wedding with a faithful friend. Endings are merely new beginnings. So what was is over because of this reunion. There's a Ten of Swords ending, a collapse, a defeat for these ones. So they're feeling broken and shattered. They have lost. Why? Because you are at peace and now you're a scholar. You know how to do that. Look, they're not, or there could just be a scholar that is having a lack of courage now because they lost, because you're at peace. And they're like, oh no. So they've got no courage. They've got no courage because you have no fear. Isn't that something? And they have no strength or courage here too. They're all out of strength. They're all out of courage. They couldn't take yours because you wouldn't let it go. You're like, no, I'm going to be at peace. I'm going to stay calm. I'm going to pour love into myself. I'm going to transmute this fear. I'm going to breathe into it. It doesn't belong to me, this energy. It's not mine. So now they want to make amends. They were not able to steal your destiny or keep you from it. They're having anxiety. They don't know what to know. The hand of God is not helping them at all. There will be no mercy because they came after an innocent child of God who was able to persevere through this challenge. And it's like, holy moly, man, what did you do? A child of God, an innocent and pure one. They tried to put into the hell realm so that they could save their own ass. Why? Because they didn't want to wait on God's timing. Well, now God's here giving them a portion, and they want forgiveness. So, you know, they're coming forward as a Knight of Cups, but they're unworthy, and they're going to be met by a fierce, aggressive one ready for them, man. They will not be taking this fortune. We've got empathy here. This person, you and this person see both sides of this situation. You have an understanding of what's been going on here. You're very well educated as to the ways that these ones have been moving against you. You're limitless, abundant beings. You can manifest whatever you want in this reality. And they're in grief because even though the world has been lying, you stood up and boldly told the truth. You know that when you're alone, you're never truly alone. You are involved in relationships that serve the higher good, and you do so with a gracious or grateful and joyful heart. In your mind, you know what you're here to do. You have purpose, and you've got friends here, a whole network of people that you are connected to. And you've got your freedom here. There's a change. You're making change. You're free to make change, to love, to accept love. These ones go, and discipline. You got to be disciplined in your own management of your own emotional status and mental status. You know, if you expect anybody in the world to be disciplined, then you've got to lead by example and just do it, right? So, yeah, forgiveness is also a release. Like, You acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love, and as a being of love, you don't harbor resentment. That vengeance is the Lord's, or is mine, saith the Lord. And that's who's here right now, making sure, and he's fully ready to make sure that these ones are not going to steal your fortune. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Man, those who are guilty, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They really messed up. I'm going to go ahead and leave this one here. I hope that this brings clarity to something that you already intuitively knew, and I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.